Hi, my name is Ashley Duncan. I graduated from Youth for Tomorrow in 2006, but I stayed until 2007. And I am now working here as a medical assistant for the Manassas location for BHS for outpatient therapy.
Wow. So you have seen this place grow incredibly. Could you talk about this location, how it's grown in the time you've either been here or worked here?
So when I was here, I was living in the girls' home, and at that time I believe there were two girls' homes at that time. So it's grown a lot since then. We didn't have the outpatient therapy, so that's insane because we have six different outpatient offices compared to back then we had none. Um, yeah, we didn't have the chapel. We didn't have this chapel. We didn't have any of this stuff. So it's crazy to see that it's grown as much as it has.
What's your story? What brought you to Youth for Tomorrow originally?
So I was living with a family member, and I was being physically abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused. I had gone to school one day with a black eye from being beat with a baseball bat from the it was a cousin that I was living with, and I had gone to school with a black eye. They called social services, sent me back home, and then I had another incident where I was beat again, and I went to school again and told them. But at this time, I also let them know that I had also been sexually abused by the husband of this woman that I was living with. I had told my bus driver that I had been sexually abused, and at that point, they took me out of the house, and I had got sent to an emergency place, and then they just sent me to like six. I think I lived in six different foster homes,
Wow.
and then they sent me to a lockdown facility in Richmond, and then from there I came to YFT in May of 2004, and I wasn't happy at the time, but I was scared. I mean, I had never been in a place like this with a whole bunch of people that you don't know, and um, so as I said, I was sexually abused by this guy, and I came to YFT, and we were going to go to trial and everything. And I remember I was in class one day, and my social worker came in, and a whole bunch of other people from YFT had came in and took me out of class and took me in a room to let me know that the guy that was accused of sexually molesting me had committed suicide the day before we were supposed to go to court. So that was like a big turn for me because I was really looking for closure, and I felt like I didn't get any closure with it. But YFT was so good. Everybody was so like warm, and they all understood how I felt, and it just felt good. And at that point, I just knew, like, this was pretty much my family. This was all I had. I graduated from high school, and then I went to medical school while I was still here, and I graduated as a medical assistant. After I finished school, I left, got an apartment with another girl that was here. We got an apartment. I worked in a pediatric doctor's office for like a year or so. I went from there to working in dialysis. So I worked for DaVita Dialysis for 7 years as a dialysis technician. I love that. And I had actually applied to YFT a couple of times. The first time I had applied, it was not long after I had left, and no one called me or anything, and I was really upset about it. But then I had started working at DaVita for 7 years, and I enjoyed that. And so I was a little bit upset, but then I came back and applied again. So I've been here now, it's going on 3 years in December. And I feel like this time that I applied, I was actually ready to be here.
Right.
So I appreciate that they held me off for a bit and let me do what I had went to school to do. And then I came here and they hired me, and I'm working in the Manassas office.
It's a heck of a story. And you know what? It strikes me if you hadn't come here, those experiences, you might not have ever experienced all that.
Right.
Did you ever let your mind go that way, or are you all forward?
Oh no, I don't even know what would have happened if I wouldn't have came here. I don't know where I would be. I wouldn't have the opportunity that I have now to be even sitting here with you or be working here. Yeah, I really.
Let me ask you this: when did you know this place was going to be special? Because as you talked about coming here, you said you didn't want to be here, and you kind of smiled, but then you became. Then you let out some different emotions because obviously this place means a lot to you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't realize it until after I left. When I realized that life is hard and these people were here trying to teach me what I was going to be, going through in life, but you don't really realize it until you're out there and you're experiencing it and you're like, "Oh, this is what they were trying to teach me." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
So,
did you ever think while you were here that you might end up working here? I mean,
no.
that's got to be
No,
something you
never
never
thought
thought
that at all.
of.
I thought when I left I was done.
And who are some of the folks that were special to you? And that's something that keeps popping up. And I know that you're working here, so you still probably see some of the people
yeah.
that helped you.
There's a lot of people that are gone now. One person that was here when I was here is Mika Sturdivant. She was she was like a drill sergeant when so I had came to the home, the house parents that we had, they were leaving like a week in to me being here. So when you're in a situation like this, you're heartbroken. I don't like change. I don't like new people. So I was upset that they were leaving, and then you got someone else coming in, and my first impression of her, she was so mean and like straightforward and everything, but now I appreciate her so much because that's how it is. Sometimes you have people like that in your life to teach you that everything is not glitter and gold. You know what I'm saying? You have to work for what you do, and she definitely made us work, and I appreciate her so much. And she's working here now, and I've expressed it to her. I may not express it as much, but yeah, she was good. And then Dr. Jones, he's always been so sweet. Like, that I can't name a bad time with Dr. Jones. Every time you see him in the hallways, he's giving you a hug. He's asking how you're doing. Like, he is definitely somebody that you can say he's not here for the money. He really cares about us. Like, even I'm 32 now, and Dr. Jones still calls me his daughter. You know what I'm saying? So,
Makes
yeah.
you feel good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I recognize that you're uniquely qualified for this job that you have because of your background and some of the steps that you've taken. Do you think you have an edge because of what you've been through and helping folks?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I feel like I should do something more to where I can help people.
You got a long way to go now.
Yeah, I do. I just don't know what I could do, but we'll get there.